So let's start again po. Nandiyan na ba kayo? Please react po kung nandiyan na, kung present na. Wala, parang wala pa. Okay. So next topic, we have urinary system. So as future physical therapists, no, importante na maintindihan natin yung urinary system because it helps po, this system helps the or helps maintaining the body's internal balance or homeostasis, no? Bakit? Kasi kapag urinary system ang pinag-uusapan, it affects the fluid balance, no? Yung blood pressure, yung endurance ng pasyente, and even the recovery of our patients during rehabilitation. So ang kidneys, continuously pinifilter yung blood, nagre-remove ng waste products, syempre nire-regulate din yung fluids and electrolyte levels. So meaning, it help control blood pressure and even it assists, no, tumutulong sa red blood cell production kasi nagpo-produce ng erythropoietin ang kidney. So for today's lecture, we'll go through the major parts of the urinary system and understand paano sila nagtutulungan para mapanatiling normal yung function ng katawan. Okay? So for the functions of the urinary system has several important functions in maintaining homeostasis. Number one, it removes waste products from the bloodstream. So yung kidneys nagfi-filter ng blood para ma-remove yung metabolic wastes such as yung urea, uric acid, saka creatinine, no? Second, we have the storage of urine. So your urinary bladder is a temporarily stores urine until yung body mo is ready for urination. Third one which is excretion of urine. So ang urine nag-exit yan sa body through the urethra, di ba? And another important function is the regulation of the blood volume. So kapag sobra ang tubig sa katawan, yung blood volume, mas maraming urine ang ginagawa ng kidneys para bumaba yung blood volume at ma-maintain yung normal blood pressure. O, sa madaling salita, for example, ang blood volume increase. Ano mangyayari sa BP kapag po increase ang blood volume? Blood volume increase, ano mangyayari sa BP? Increase or decrease? Blood volume tayo ha. Mag-increase. If the blood volume increases, the BP increases also. So meaning the body tends to create more urine. Bakit? Para mailabas. To regulate the blood pressure, kailangan mailabas yung excess na tubig. Di ba ang tubig saan mapupunta? Sa blood. Okay? So mag-i-increase ang blood volume pag increase ang tubig sa katawan. So increase niya rin yung BP. So para ma-decrease ang BP, ang urinary system gagawa ng madaming ihi ng urine. Para ngayon, bumaba yung blood volume, mami-maintain ngayon normal blood pressure. Ganun siya. Nagigets yun? Okay. O kapag kulang naman ang tubig, for example, dehydrated ang pasyente, ang kidney, hindi niya ilalabas yung tubig. No? Nire-retain ng kidney yung water sa loob. No? For example, dehydrated, kulang ng tubig. Ang kidney mo, sabi natin, di ba, the urinary system maintains homeostasis, balanse. So kung kulang ka ng tubig, ang kidney hindi maglalabas ng tubig. I-reabsorb niya yung tubig sa loob ng katawan para maging normal ulit yung amount ng tubig sa loob ng katawan. Malinaw? Okay. And lastly, your kidney regulate the erythrocyte production, wherein your kidney produces a hormone called erythropoietin. No? Which stimulates the bone marrow to produce ngayon red blood cells, especially kapag mababa yung oxygen level sa dugo. No? Meaning, erythrocyte production, erythrocytes is RBCs, no? We have erythropoietin na hormone, siya po yung nag-uutos kay bone marrow na, uy, gumawa ka ng additional erythrocytes or red blood cells kasi kulang ng oxygen sa dugo. No? Yun yung another function of the urinary system. Malinaw tayo sa functions of the urinary system. Okay. So, we have the urine, no? Urine is a watery, usually yellowish fluid daw po na stored in the urinary bladder and i-discharge, ilalabas through the urethra. Okay? It is one of the body's major ways of eliminating excess water, salts, or waste products from the bloodstream. So, yung mga waste products, mga excessive water, no, or salts na nasa blood, or bloodstream, usually, ini-excrete, nilalabas yan through the use of urine. Actually, the urine is also composed of water, of nitrogen-containing wastes like urea, and salts as well as electrolytes. Okay, ulitin natin. Ang urine mo, mainly composed yan ng tubig and nitrogen-containing wastes like urea. Meron din diyang salts, may electrolytes. No? Sodium, potassium, electrolytes yan. So normally, ang urine, diluted. Pakitandaan, normally, the urine is diluted. Okay, in nature. And the color of the urine comes from the pigment called urobilin. Kung kanina, yung kulay ng stool, ng feces, is coming from the stercobilin. The color of the urine came from the pigment called urobilin, also known as your urochrome. No, urobilin, also known as your urochrome. So, ang color talaga ng urine, since diluted, no, pale yellow to orange is the normal color of the urine. So, kapag po naging concentrated ang urine, mas darker ang color, no? Meaning, it is mainly due to dehydration. Kapag concentrated ang urine, no, mas maraming solutes doon sa naihi mo or nawiwi mo, eh baka dehydrated ka kasi kulang ng tubig. Okay, kapag diluted kasi mas maraming solvent, mas maraming water. Malinaw tayo? Tandaan ha, the urine is mainly or naturally or normally diluted in nature. No, the color is yellow or pale yellow to orange due to the pigment called urobilin or urochrome. So for the kidney, no, they are highly vascular organs. Actually, before tayo dyan, yung parts muna ng urinary system pala. So the urinary system contains 4 main parts. No? We have kubo. Patanda ako dyan kubo before. No? So kidney, dalawang kidney, dalawang ureter, isang urinary bladder, isang urethra. No? Kubo. Kidney, ureter, bladder, and urethra. Yun yung 4 main parts. So, the kidney, syempre siya yung tagagawa ng urine. Yung ureter, urinary bladder, urethra, they are passageways. No? Passageways sila ng urine. Pero the tagagawa, no, production of urine is the kidney. The ureter, urinary bladder, and urethra are only passageways of the urine. Okay, dalawang kidney, dalawang ureter, isang urinary bladder, isang urethra. Responsible for urine formation, kidney. Passageway of urine, ureter, bladder, urethra. Bladder is pantog in Tagalog. Okay, di ba kapag naiihi, napupuno na yung pantog ko. Okay? So let's first discuss the kidney. So kidney the kidneys are highly vascular organs, meaning marami silang blood supply. And in fact, about 25% of the cardiac output, no, dumadaan sa kidneys. Okay? So their main job is to produce urine by filtering the blood. So ang kidney, nire-remove niyan mga excess water, electrolytes, urea, uric acid, creatinine. So parang salaan ng dugo yung kidneys. And initially, yung filtrate na na-form is in ultrafiltrate of the blood. Then dumadaan yan sa different parts of the nephron para ma-adjust yung water and electrolyte balance bago maging final urine. So in terms of anatomy, the kidney is a bean-shaped structure. Parang bean, no? And it is located retroperitoneal. So pag sinabing retroperitoneal, likuran, retro, location. And usually it is found from T12, level T12 to L3. No, T12 to L3. Malinaw tayo sa kidney bago tayo mag-proceed. Malinaw po tayo dito. Okay. So next, we have the secretions of the kidneys. Okay? Yung functions ng kidneys actually. So the kidney performs several important functions. We have exocrine function and endocrine function. No? So, excretory function, tinatanggal nila yung waste products, yung excess water, excess salts from the blood. They also maintain blood volume and electrolyte balance. So, inaayos nila yung fluid and electrolyte levels ng katawan. Meaning, may pH regulation din dito kung saan yung kidneys nare-regulate yung hydrogen ions para mapanatiling normal yung blood pH. Di ba kapag increase ang hydrogen ions, decrease ang pH, meaning acidic. Makabaliktaran, kapag decrease ang hydrogen ions, increase ang pH, so meaning alkalinic or basic in nature. No, pH regulation yan. O nagkakaroon din tayo ng blood pressure regulation. No, kapag po kidney, so kagaya na sinabi natin, 'di ba? So blood pressure regulation, actually, aside from erythropoietin, your kidneys produces renin. No? Wherein renin regulates blood pressure. 'Di ba? We have your renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. Kailangan mo ng renin para magkaroon ka ng regulation of blood pressure na sinisikret ngayon ni kidney. We also have erythrocyte production wherein dito, no, it releases erythropoietin, kagaya na sabi natin, na stimulate ng bone marrow to produce red blood cell formation. No? And we also have vitamin D activation. We also have the vitamin D activation. Kasi 'di ba, kino-convert ng kidney yung vitamin D into its active form na important for calcium absorption and bone health. 'Di ba, ang sunlight magpo-produce ng vitamin D. Pero it is an inactive form. So, ang inyong vitamin D dadaan yan sa kidney for it to be activated, no? And vitamin D, or the activated form of vitamin D, is very essential or vital or important for the reabsorption of calcium. Kasi uminom ka nga ng gatas, may calcium, pero hindi mo mare-reabsorb hanggat wala kang activated form of vitamin D. Mahino tayo sa, natin, sa inyong kidneys, functions. Okay. Next, the appearance of the kidneys. So, di ba, yung kidneys natin, sabi natin kanina, reddish-brown and bean-shaped organs. They are located retroperitoneally, meaning nasa likod sila ng peritoneum. Usually found sila between the T12 and L3. Posteriorly, makikita sila near the costovertebral angle. Tandaan, posteriorly, ang kidney po makikita near the costovertebral angle, and the right kidney is slightly lower kaysa dun sa left kidney. Bakit ba slightly lower yung right kidney as compared to the left kidney? Due to the presence of what organ? Makikita sa right side. We have the liver. The liver, very good, no? Sa right side, sa taas ng kidney kasi sa right side, nandun yung liver nakapatong. So ngayon, napupush ng liver yung right kidney pababa. Kaya mas makikita mo, yung right kidney lower siya than the left kidney. No? Andiyan pala nakalagay pala because of the right lobe of the liver. Sa PowerPoint pala siya. Tanong pa ako. Okay? So because of the liver. So let's proceed to the external kidney anatomy. So kapag sinabing external anatomy, yun po yung mga protective layers no, surrounding the kidneys. So these layers tumutulong maprotektahan, masupport, ma-stabilize yung kidneys inside the abdominal cavity. So for the investments of the kidneys, so the kidneys are surrounded by several protective layers. Number one, we have the renal capsule. Yung renal capsule is a thin, manipis, pero tough fibrous covering na directly sinasurround si kidney. So, your renal capsule is a protection against trauma and other infection na pwedeng pumunta sa kidneys. So, ang main role niya is a barrier to trauma. No? The renal capsule, yes, is a thin capsule but a tough fibrous covering. No? Ang main function niya is a barrier to trauma, no? Or other infections. We also have the perirenal fat, also called as your perinephric fat or fatty capsule. So ito po yung adipose tissue na nagsasurround sa kidney na nag-act as a cushion, no? So meron tayong mga adipose tissues or adiposities dito sa kidneys. So renal capsule, after that we have the adipose tissues or the perirenal fat, no? Na sinasurround yung kidney para magkaroon ng cushioning effect, no? For cushioning, cushion, malambot, no? To prevent trauma as well. Pero the primary layer or covering preventing trauma is the renal capsule. Okay? And number 3, we have the renal fascia or the Gerota's fascia. So, it is a connective tissue layer na nag-a-anchor ng kidney and adrenal glands to the surrounding structures. Meaning, your renal capsule anchors kidney on the abdominal wall. No? It anchors the kidneys on the abdominal wall. That's the main function of your renal fascia or your Gerota's fascia. We also have the pararenal fat. Ito naman yung fat located outside, no? Kaya nga pararenal, outside the renal fascia that provides ngayon additional support and protection. Pararenal fat. Malinaw tayo sa investments or the covering of the kidneys. Okay. So, the kidney is the yellow one, no? Renal capsule yung color blue. Tapos, yung perirenal fat yung color green. The red one is the renal fascia. And yung color pink dito is the pararenal fat. Pararenal is outside the renal fascia, no? For protection as well. Kung makikita nyo rin dito sa picture na to, this is the right, this is the left kidney. So makikita mo na yung right kidney, nandito yung liver. No? Sa right kidney, kasi yung cursor ko. Sa right kidney, kabila, yung kabilang kidney, ito mas maliit, nandun yung liver. Nakapatong sa liver sa kanya, kaya mas lower siya as compared to the left side. No? Mas mababa yung right kidney than the left because of the presence of the liver. Malinaw tayo dun sa inyong external anatomy, investments. Okay. We also have the opening of the kidneys. Under external anatomy pa rin to, ha? So the medial border of the kidney actually contains, may opening doon called the hilus. So the medial border of the kidney contains an opening called the hilus. So yung entry and exit point ng major structures na papasok at palabas ng kidney, that's the hilus. No, the entry point and the exit point ng major structures papasok at palabas ng kidney, that's the hilus, opening. From the hilus, papasok tayo sa renal sinus. which is a cavity inside the kidney. Yung cavity inside the kidney, sa loob ng hilus, may tatawag kayong renal sinus. No? Wherein sa renal sinus, makikita ka ng mga structures sa loob. Dumadaan dyan si renal vein, dumadaan dyan si renal artery, dumadaan dyan si renal pelvis or the ureter, dumadaan dyan si lymphatic vessels, si nerves, and fat tissues. Okay? So remember, ang hilus, opening. Ang renal sinus is an internal cavity. Okay? Ang opening, hilus, ang sinus, internal cavity. Malinaw tayo? Ito yung hilus ninyo, no opening. O yung renal sinus ninyo, eto, no? Sa loob na to eh. Sa loob na yan. Malinaw tayo dito sa renal sinus and renal hilus. Yung difference nila. Okay. So, let's move on to the internal anatomy of the kidney. So, kapag hiniwa natin yung kidney longitudinally, makikita natin yung different internal structures responsible for urine formation and drainage. So, ang kidney is mainly divided into renal cortex, may renal medulla kayo, may renal pyramids, may calyces kayo, the major and minor calyces, and we have the renal pelvis. So, yung structures nila na yon na nabanggit natin, work together para makagawa at makapagpalabas ng urine. Okay? So, for the layers of the kidney, number 1, we have your cortex. So, yung cortex or renal cortex is the outer region. Okay? Outer region of the kidney located ngayon directly beneath the renal capsule. Okay? Your renal cortex is the outer region of the kidney. Cortex nga eh. Okay? Directly beneath siya located sa renal capsule. Ito yung light-colored outer area ng kidney. Tandaan ha, kapag cortex, light-colored or lighter-colored outer area ng kidney. So the cortex is divided into two regions. We have the cortical labyrinth and the medullary ray. So your cortical labyrinth contains actually your renal corpuscles, the glomeruli, the Bowman's capsule, and the proximal convoluted tubule, as well as your distal convoluted tubules. No? Ito yung content ng cortical labyrinth. So, sa cortical labyrinth, dito po nangyayari yung pangunahing filtration ng blood. No? Tinatawag siyang labyrinth, bakit? Kasi under microscope, mukha siyang magulo. Mukha siyang maze-like, no? Yung arrangement ng tubules doon. Kaya siya cortical labyrinth. Anong contents niya? Renal corpuscles, glomeruli, Bowman's capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule, and the distal convoluted tubule. Malinaw tayo dito sa cortex, renal cortex, and the cortical labyrinth. Okay. Aside from the cortical labyrinth, we have the medullary rays. So, yung medullary rays na yan, these are straight tubules naman and collecting ducts extending from the cortex down toward the medulla. So, para siyang rays or sinag sila kapag tinitingnan mo microscopically. So, ang role nila is to transport urine toward the medulla. Okay, nasa cortex pa lang tayo yung outer region. So, kung ang pangunahing filtration ng blood is the cortical labyrinth, yung medullary rays, their role is to transport urine toward the medulla. No? Kaya siya medullary rays. Tapos straight lang. Malinaw. Next, we have the medulla. So, kung si cortex, siya po yung outer region. This is the cortex, is a picture. No? This is the outer region, the cortex. The medulla is the inner region. So the renal medulla is the inner region of the kidney located beneath the cortex. Okay? So mas darker yung color nito as compared to the cortex. Di ba sabi natin, the cortex is the lighter colored one region and the darker colored region is the medulla. So ang medulla consists of a triangular structures actually called renal pyramids. Okay? May renal pyramids. And those renal pyramids contain straight tubules, loop of Henle, collecting ducts. No? Yung renal pyramids, ulitin ko ha, renal pyramids contain straight tubules, loops of Henle, and your collecting ducts. So yung mga structures na yan, tumutulong matransport yung urine toward the renal pelvis. No? Wherein the renal pelvis is here. Ayan ang renal pelvis. No? So from cortex to renal medulla has the renal pyramids going to the renal pelvis. Wherein between adjacent pyramids, there are structures called the renal columns. Okay? Yung mga renal columns na yan are extensions daw po of cortical tissue between the pyramids. No, they are extensions of cortical tissues between the pyramids known as your renal columns. Okay? So, meron tayong tinatawag na renal lobe. So, yung renal lobe consists of one renal pyramid, overlying cortical tissue, and a portion of renal columns beside it. No? Ito yung lobe. So, one renal pyramid, overlying cortical tissue, and portions of the renal columns beside it. This is one lobe. So, isipin natin para siyang isang functional section or division ng kidney. Renal lobe. Okay? Yung renal lobule naman on the other hand, no, is a smaller structural unit within the cortex. O, ito nga lang yung lobule eh. Okay? So, yung lobule, meron siyang one medullary ray in the center. Tapos, it's around, or saka, aside from medullary ray, isang medullary ray, meron siyang surrounding cortical labyrinth. No? Dito. One renal lobule. So, ang renal lobule, ang contents niyan is a collecting duct and all the nephron draining into it. So, basically, ito yung mas maliit na functional subdivision inside the kidney, lobule. Naka-follow pa tayo? Andiyan pa ba kayo? Okay. So next, we have the medulla. Sa medulla, sabi natin, meron tayong renal pyramids. So the renal medulla contains about 8 to 18 renal pyramids. Yung mga cone-shaped dyan, striated structures. So these are cone-shaped striated structures, yung renal pyramids. So yung base actually faces the cortex. So ang base daw ng pyramid, ito ang pyramid. Ang base niya nandoon sa renal cortex. Pero yung apex niya towards the renal sinus. Okay? Ang base towards the, or faces the cortex, yung labas, but the apex points toward the renal sinus. So, apex, makita ka dyan, no? The apex of each pyramid, ang tawag dyan is the renal papilla. Yung apex ng renal pyramid, ang tawag po dyan, renal papilla. So yung renal papilla, siya po ay nasa-serve as the opening kung saan yung urine drains into the minor calyx. Okay? So sa renal papilla, siya po yung opening kung saan yung urine nagde-drain na into the minor calyx. Papuntang major calyx, papuntang renal pelvis. Papuntang ureter. Malinaw tayo dito. So we also have the renal columns. Sabi nga natin, it is between the renal pyramids, no? Your renal columns. Ito pyramid. Between them, we have the pyramid. Between them, we have your renal column. Also called as your renal columns of Bertini. So yung extensions na yan of cortical tissue, no, pass between adjacent pyramids. So ang role nila mainly structural support and passageway po ng blood vessels, no, your renal columns. Okay? So after, sabi nga natin kanina sa apex, susunod si minor calyx, di ba? So ang minor calyx is a small funnel-shaped structure inside the kidney. Yung minor calyx, andyan na yan, no? Medyo maliit lang siya. So, yun yung minor calyx. Kasi yung mas pinagsama-samang minor calyx, ang tawag doon major calyx. So the minor calyx, sabi natin, small funnel-shaped structure inside the kidney. So nakapalibot yan sa tip ng renal pyramid or the renal papilla. Di ba renal papilla is the apex of the renal pyramid. So its main function is to collect the urine coming from the collecting ducts of the pyramids. So basically, sinasalo niya yung urine from the renal papilla. So usually, there are around 8 to 18 minor calyces in one kidney. No, 8 to 18 minor calyces in one kidney. So after minor calyces, we have the major calyx. No? So yung major calyx is formed by the union of 2 or more minor calyces. So usually, there are about 2 to 3 major calyces per kidney. Kung kanina 8 to 18 ang minor calyces, ang major calyces actually 2 to 3 per kidney. So parang common collecting basin siya, ng minor calyces bago pumunta sa urine, bago pumunta yung urine sa renal pelvis. Malinaw tayo? Malinaw. Okay. So ngayon, we have the renal pelvis. No, renal pelvis. So yung renal pelvis is formed by the union of the major calyces naman. So may union ka na ng major calyces, magkakaroon ka ng renal pelvis. So para siyang funnel-shaped structure located within the renal sinus. So ang main function or role niya is to collect urine from the major calyces and channel it into the ureter. No? Yung renal pelvis. Connected si renal pelvis sa ureter. So ang flow ng urine, kung mag-start ka sa renal papilla, going to minor calyx, going to major calyx, going to renal pelvis, going to the ureter. Renal papilla is the apex of the renal pyramids, tama? Naiintindihan tayo? May question ba dito sa flow ng urine nyo? Okay. So we also have the nephron, wherein your nephron is the functional unit of the kidney. No, it is considered as the functional unit of the kidney. Bakit? Because ito talaga yung responsible for urine formation. And each kidney actually contains around 1 million of nephrons. Pakitandaan, each kidney contains 1 million of nephrons. Ibig sabihin, both kidneys, 2 million. Kaya sobrang efficient ng kidneys sa pag-filter ng blood. Kasi 1 million ng nephron each kidney. So ang nephron ninyo performs 4 major processes. No? We have filtration, reabsorption, secretion, and urine formation. Ano yung 4 na major processes niya? Filtration, reabsorption, secretion, and urine formation. Now, the first part of the nephron is called as your renal corpuscle. So, ano po yung renal corpuscle? No? Yung renal corpuscle is the blood filtering component of the nephron. So, dito po nasisimula yung paggawa ng urine. So it is composed of 2 structures. Ang renal corpuscle, 2 structure yan na pinagsama. The glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule. Glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule, renal corpuscle yan. Si glomerulus, yun po yung kumpol-kumpol na capillaries. No? Nandiyan sa picture, ito. Yung kumpol-kumpol na capillaries kung saan dumadalo yung dugo, infiltration starts, glomerulus. The Bowman's capsule, para siyang cup-shaped covering around the glomerulus na siya po yung nagko-collect ng filtrate or yung nasalang na fluid. No? The Bowman's capsule. So yung nagko-collect ng filtrate or nasalang na fluid. So meaning the glomerulus filters blood. On the other hand, your Bowman's capsule catches the filtrate. No? Yung na-filtered na fluid. Malinaw tayo doon? Okay. So after the renal corpuscle, we have your tubulars, no? Your tubules. So first tube, we have your proximal convoluted tubule. So after the renal corpuscle, no, we have the filtrate moves into the proximal convoluted tubule or the PCT. So this is one of the major sites of reabsorption and secretion actually, the PCT. So reabsorption meaning nire-reabsorb niya, nire-return niya back to the bloodstream yung certain fluid or electrolytes. So during reabsorption of proximal convoluted tubule, ang nare-reabsorb niya na substances to return back to the bloodstream are water, the glucose, amino acids, electrolytes. Kasi ayaw ng katawan na masayang yung mga useful substances na yan, like water, glucose, amino acids, and electrolytes. Okay? Secretion at the same time, some waste materials and excess substances are transferred from the blood pupuntang tubule para maisama sa urine. Meaning, ilalabas niya. So ang PCT, proximal convoluted tubule, parang recycling center ng nephron. Meron siyang nire-reabsorb, meron siyang sinisikret, nilalabas na substances. Malinaw tayo sa PCT? Okay. Next, we have the loop of Henle. So ang loop of Henle in-extend or nag-extend down into the medulla and helps create a concentration gradient inside the kidney. Yung concentration gradient meaning may difference sa concentration ng solutes between the areas. So very important yan because it allows the kidney to conserve water, to concentrate the urine, ma-maintain yung fluid balance. Okay? Dalawa ang loop of Henle natin ha, descending loop of Henle saka ascending loop of Henle. So parehas yan, no? Very important kasi inaalaw niya yung kidney ma-conserve ang water, ma-concentrate ang urine, ibig sabihin mas maraming solutes, and maintain fluid balance. So the descending limb mainly, no, descending limb, yung descending loop of Henle mainly reabsorbs water. Nagre-reabsorb ng water. While your ascending loop of Henle, ascending limb, mainly reabsorbs salts. No? So malaking role nito sa water conservation ng katawan. Tandaan kung nasa na ang salt, susunod ang tubig. O kung nire-absorb mo ang salt, mare-reabsorb din ang tubig. Malinaw tayo. Kaya ang urine nyo rito sa loop of Henle is concentrated. No? Tandaan na pag diluted, mas maraming tubig, water. Concentrated, mas maraming solutes. Okay, mas maraming solutes. So in this case, sabi natin, sa loop of Henle, nare-reabsorb niya yung water. Kung nare-reabsorb mo ang water, meaning concentrated ang urine dito kasi mas marami ng solutes. Kasi nga nare-absorb mo na yung water. Konti ang water na dyan sa loop of Henle as well as the proximal convoluted tubule. Na pa-follow po tayo. Okay. So the distal convoluted tubule naman on the other hand is another area for regulation and secretion. So it actively pumps daw po harmful substances from the blood into the urine such as ammonia, urea, certain drugs, and ions. So dito, mas pina-fine-tune pa ng kidney yung composition ng urine. Wherein the DCT, the distal convoluted tubule, tumutulong i-regulate yung electrolyte balance and the pH balance ng katawan. No? Yun ang function ng distal convoluted tubule. O kung dito, wala ka nang nabanggit na reabsorption of water, baka dito, mas marami ka ng water. Kaya makita mo dito sa sa distal convoluted tubule, diluted na yung urine. No, diluted na po yung urine. Meaning, mas maraming water ang nailalabas. Okay? Next, we have the collecting duct, also called as the duct of Bellini, wherein it receives filtrate from several nephrons. So, kinoconnect niya yung nephrons to the minor calyx or directly to the renal pelvis. So, dumadaan yung final urine, dito dumadaan yung final urine bago siya umalis sa kidney. So, collecting ducts also regulate the water reabsorption depending sa needs ng katawan. So, kung dehydrated ang pasyente, mas maraming water ang marireabsorb, kumbaga. Okay? Kung mataas ang BP ng pasyente, madami ang blood volume, mas maraming iihi. No? Ilalabas na water ang isang individual. Malinaw tayo dito. Pero tandaan ha, normally, the urine is naturally diluted in nature. Malinaw tayo dito bago tayo mag-proceed. Okay. So, to summarize, sabi natin the nephron is distributed throughout the cortex and medulla of the kidney. Okay? Yung parts ng nephron yung binanggit natin kanina, ha? Baka hindi nyo naintindihan din. So, to summarize, sabi nga natin, nephron is distributed throughout the cortex and medulla of the kidney. So, we have, ilang million ulit ang nephron kada kidney? Amount of nephron each kidney. $1 million, very good. No? So it has two major components, sabi natin the nephron. We have the renal corpuscle and the renal tubule. Renal corpuscle, sino po composition ng renal corpuscles kanina? It's composed of dalawang structure, renal corpuscle. Glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule. Very good. Ang main function ng renal corpuscle is to filter blood. Okay, filtration of the blood. Number 2, we have the renal tubules. O, yung mga tubes, no, tubo. That's your renal tubules. We have the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop of Henle, the distal convoluted tubule, the collecting duct. No? So, ang main function, PCT, returns useful substances to the blood. The loop of Henle, kinoconserve yung water and solutes. Ang DCT, nire-remove yung mga additional wastes. And your collecting duct, the final concentration ng transport of urine na yan. Okay? And again, one kidney contains about 1 million of nephrons. Okay? So, for the cortex, renal cortex, ano ba yung mga makikita mo sa renal cortex? Your renal cortex contains renal corpuscles. Sabi natin, renal corpuscles are glomerulus plus the Bowman's capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule, and the distal convoluted tubule. So this is the cortex, this is the medulla. Kung makikita mo sa cortex, ito ang cortex, dun sa may picture dyan sa gilid. The cortex contains the renal corpuscle, glomerulus plus Bowman's capsule. Ito po yung proximal convoluted tubule. We have the distal convoluted tubule, renal cortex. Okay? So most of the filtration happens, no? And the initial processing happens in the cortex. And we have the renal medulla, yung baba ng picture. O sa baba, the middle medulla or the renal medulla contains the straight portions of the proximal tubules. We have also the loop of Henle. We also have the straight portions of the distal tubules, and we have the collecting ducts. No? Yun po yung mga contents ng inyong renal medulla. So ang structures are more involved in urine concentration and water conservation, renal medulla. Ang renal cortex, filtration and initial processing, dito po nangyayari. Sa medulla, nandito po yung urine concentration saka water conservation, medulla. Okay? So kapag iisipin natin, cortex, filtration and processing, ang medulla, concentration of urine. Malinaw tayo bago tayo mag-proceed. Okay. So, blood flow in the kidneys, ito na, discuss na to dun sa FAPC before, di ba? Yung napakadami. So, let's go through the blood flow in the kidney step by step. So, from systemic circulation, ang blood papasok muna sa kidney through the aorta, syempre. Then it goes to the renal artery. So, from there, it branches into smaller arteries as it goes deeper inside the kidney. So, yung aorta is the main artery coming from the heart, di ba? Tapos, pupunta kay renal artery, which is a branch of the aorta supplying the blood to the kidney, renal artery. After renal artery, we have the interlobar arteries wherein it runs in between the renal pyramids and the medulla. So imagine ninyo na parang lanes going between the lobes of the kidney. That's your interlobar arteries. Kaya interlobar, no, between the lobes. And number 4, we have your arcuate arteries. No, it runs along naman the base of the renal pyramids. Sa base, so malapit sa cortex. So located siya sa cortico-medullary junction, no? Sa junction ng cortex and the medulla. Renal cortex and renal medulla, cortico-medullary junction. So para siyang arch, kaya siya arcuate. No, arch shape siya, kaya tinawag na arcuate. Arcuate. So from here, blood starts from moving toward the cortex na po, no, arcuate arteries. Malinaw tayo dito bago tayo mag-proceed sa next slide. So aorta, renal artery, interlobar arteries, arcuate arteries. Yung sunod-sunod. Okay? So followed by number 5, interlobular arteries, no? And then afferent arterioles. So interlobular arteries, they go upward into the cortex and define the borders of renal lobules. No, kaya nga interlobular, no, between the lobules, no? So from these arteries magba-branch out siya into afferent arterioles. So, afferent is tawag dito, this away, towards, di ba? Sensory, pag sensory, towards. So from these arteries, nag-branch out ng afferent arterioles. So afferent arterioles, nagdadala ng blood papasok sa glomerulus. So this is very important kasi dito pa lang nasisimula yung filtration process sa glomerulus, no? Afferent arterioles. So nagdadala ng blood papasok sa glomerulus, afferent arterioles yun ha. And then we have the glomerulus, and then we have the efferent arteriole and the peritubular capillaries. So from the afferent arteriole, yung blood mag-e-enter sa glomerulus, which is the main filtering unit of the kidney. So dito nangyayari yung filtration of plasma. So after filtration, lalabas yung blood through the efferent arteriole, away, efferent. Then it goes to the peritubular capillaries. So this surround the renal tubules and responsible yan for reabsorption and secretion. So some blood also goes to the vasa recta depending on the nephron type actually, no? So from glomerulus, efferent arteriole, peritubular capillary, plexus. And then we have your vasa recta, arcuate vein, interlobar vein, and renal vein. So from the peritubular capillaries, the blood goes to the vasa recta, especially in the juxta-medullary nephrons. So then it returns through the venous system. So venous system na tayo, arcuate veins. O parang same lang dun kanina, di ba may arcuate artery din. After arcuate artery, di ba, we have your interlobar artery. So dito, meron ka ding interlobar veins. So arcuate veins, they runs parallel to the arcuate arteries. Interlobar veins located between the renal pyramids, kaya nga interlobar. The renal vein is the main vein that drains the kidney. And finally, yung blood mag-exit na through the inferior vena cava, going back to the heart. No? So ito yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng blood flow in the kidneys. So ito rin yon. So overall, this is the complete circulation pathway of the kidney. Important, no? Mag-arteries muna, arteries go in, tapos mag-ng filtration happens in the glomerulus, and then the veins will bring the blood back out, no? Or papunta sa saan? Sa heart ulit. Okay? So overall, ang blood flow in the kidney follows the sequence like this, no? So arterial side, no, sa arterial, bitin natin, we have aorta going to renal artery, going to, meron pa tayo tinatawag na segmental artery. We have the interlobar artery, the arcuate artery, the interlobular artery, we have the afferent arteriole, and papuntang glomerulus. Meron pa tayo mga microcirculation kasi after glomerulus, magkakaroon ka ng efferent arteriole, tapos peritubular capillaries, Tapos pupuntang vasa recta. Diba? So after ng vasa recta, magkakaroon ka na ng venous side. Yung sa vein, we have interlobular vein, arcuate vein, pupunta kay interlobar vein, punta kay renal vein, punta ngayon kay inferior vena cava. So kidney is unique because it has two capillary beds, no? Sa glomerulus para sa peritubular capillaries. Na-follow po tayo sa blood flow ng kidneys. Okay, tandaan niyo na lang yan ha. Kabisaduhin. So let's connect this clinically. Kasi may tinatawag na acute glomerulonephritis. So yung condition na yan is an inflammation of the glomeruli. Usually, autoimmune in nature, ibig sabihin, inaatake niya yung sarili niya. Autoimmune. Sinisira niya yung sarili niya. So commonly, no, nangyayari po tong condition na yan kapag ang pasyente may previous infection like sore throat. So what happens here is the filtering unit becomes inflamed, no? Nagkakaroon ng inflammation yung glomerulus eh. So nagkakaroon niya ng problems like hematuria and proteinuria. O, kapag sinabing hematuria, saka proteinuria, no, may problem sa protein, may problem sa blood. No? Dun sa amounts of blood and proteins inside the body. No? Either nagkaroon ng decrease or increase in proteins and RBC count. We also have your nephrolithiasis, also known as your kidney stones or the Staghorn calculus. So ito naman, formation ng stones inside the kidney. So sometimes they get stuck in the calyces, no? And they can block urine flow. So clinically, it can lead to severe pain and possible obstruction. And in worst cases, nagkakaroon ng kidney damage kapag kayo nagkaroon ng kidney stones. No? Usually sa calyces nangyayari. Calyx, major and minor calyx. So, polycystic kidney disease naman, inherited condition meaning namamana. So, nagkakaroon ng multiple cysts forming inside or in the kidney. So, over time, lumalaki yung kidneys and nagde-decrease yung function nila. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng progressive loss, no, ng renal function dahil sa polycystic kidney disease. So, overall, yung kidney ninyo is not just about filtration, tandaan. So, it's also about the vascular flow, the regulation, and clinical conditions that affect po the entire system. Okay? So next, we have after the kidney, we have your ureter. So, the ureter is a long, narrow tube na nagko-connect ng kidney or each kidney to the urinary bladder. So basically, siya yung pathway ng urine going down to the bladder. And it's about 25 to 30 centimeters, no, cm long. Tandaan, 25 to 30 cm long and or roughly 10 inches, no? And it's composed mainly of smooth muscles which helps po in the peristalsis. So may peristalsis din dyan, no? Meaning it pushes the urine downward even against gravity. So in simple terms, kahit nakahiga or nakatayo yung pasyente, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung movement ng urine from kidney to the bladder. Okay? So anatomically, your ureter actually passes in front. No, makikita yan in front of the psoas muscle. Okay? Then it enters the pelvis and lies on top of the iliac artery and iliac vein. So, in front siya ng psoas muscle dumadaan, tapos nasa taas din siya, no, ng iliac artery and iliac vein. So, clinically important po yan along this pathway. Kasi maraming structures na pwedeng ma-involve kapag may obstruction ng ureter. Okay? So, for the anatomical constructions, very important part kasi yung ureter has 3 natural narrowing points. Ito yung usual sites kung saan nagkakaroon ng kidney stones sa ureter. So, number 1, we have your uretero-pelvic junction. So, meaning ito yung junction between the renal pelvis and the ureter. Di ba kanina, the renal pelvis is connected to the ureter. No? This is your uretero-pelvic junction. So, common nagkakaroon dyan ng kidney stones. no, stocking of the kidney stones, dislodging of the kidney stones. We also have the pelvic brim. So, ayun po yung namang kung saan yung ureter crosses over the iliac vessels. So, literally, nasa ibabaw siya ng iliac artery and vein, no, dun sa pelvic brim. The uterovesical junction naman, yun yung entry point ng ureter papuntang bladder. Okay, the uretero-vesical junction, yung entry point ng ureter into the bladder. So, between the ureter and the bladder, dun po nagkakaroon ng pagtubo ng or pag-dislodge ng kidney stones. So, tandaan, yung 3 constrictions na yan po yung mga common site of obstruction. Kaya kapag may uretero, ayan, nakalagay na sa screen, ureterolithiasis, dito usually naiipit yung mga stones sa uretero-pelvic junction, the pelvic brim, and the uretero-vesical junction. Okay? Malinaw tayo dito bago tayo mag-proceed. So, for the blood supply of the ureter, so the ureter gets branches from the different arteries. We have the renal artery, we have the gonadal artery, the renal artery, the gonadal artery, and the superior vesical artery. Okay? Yung tatlo nandiyan naman sa screen. Turo natin. We have here the renal artery, the gonadal artery, patay niyo mga ba? Yan. And the superior vesical artery. So, hindi siya single supply. May multiple sources po, no? Para ma-maintain yung perfusion along its length dun sa ureter. For the nerve supply naman ng inyong ureter, so it comes from L1, L2 spinal nerves. That's why kapag may ureteric pain, no? Usually ang referral pain yan sa lower abdomen, eh. No, kasi L1, L2 or sa groin area kasi same spinal segments, no? Usually ang pain nasa lower abdomen or the groin area dahil sa L1, L2 spinal nerves na nerve supply ng ureter. No, kapag may problem sa ureter, ayun ang manifestation ng pain. May referred pain saan? Lower abdomen or the groin area sa singit. Okay? So for clinical correlations, no, nabanggit natin kanina, we have your ureterolithiasis. So basically, ito yung kidney stones that get stuck in the ureter. So most of the time, small stones can pass spontaneously through the urinary tract, no, without a problem. Pero if yung stone more than 5 millimeters, there is a high chance na ma-block niya yung passage. No? If yung stone more than 5 millimeter, kasi common kapag maliit na maliit talaga, pwede naman dumaan yung kidney stone, no? Or ureter stone, kasi maliit. Pero kapag po greater than or more than 5 millimeters na yung laki niya, nabablock na po yung passage. So, kapag nangyari yan, magkakaroon ng severe pain, magkakaroon ng pain during urination, na obstruct yung urine flow. So, clinically, important po yan because prolonged obstruction doon sa area could lead to hydronephrosis and kidney damage if not managed properly. So, overall, your ureter is not just a simple structure, no? Very important sila clinically because meron siyang 3 constrictions where obstruction commonly happens. Okay? May tatlong kaninang junction. And we also have your urinary bladder. So, it is basically the storage organ of the urine, di ba? Ang main function nga niya is temporary storage of urine before urination. So, gaano siya or paano nangyayari yung function. So, ang normal person actually can feel the urge to urinate at around 120 to 320 ml daw. No? But the bladder can actually stretch more. Kasi the maximal capacity of the bladder is around 700 to 800 ml of urine. Actually, the normal amount of urine that could take place inside the urinary bladder is 500 ml. No, yun yung normal. Pero sabi nga, kapag daw po, no, 120 to 320, parang nararamdaman na nung individual na meron na siyang urge na magwiwi. So, ang maximum capacity is 700 to 800 ml. So, kapag napuno na talaga siya, that's when you start to feel na parang konti na lang lalabas na. Or what we call the overflow or dribbling. Nagkakaroon ng dribbling. Ano yan? Bola? Din dribble? Ganun ba yung dribbling? Ibig sabihin lang ng dribbling, tumutulo na yung urine kasi over-distended na yung bladder. No? Dahil over-distended na yung bladder, overstretched na siya, natulo na yung urine. That's dribbling. Nagkakaroon ng overflow. Okay? Malinaw tayo doon. Okay. So, ang bladder ninyo, located yan sa pelvic cavity and mainly composed po yan ng smooth muscles called the detrusor muscle. So, meron kang muscle dyan sa bladder called the detrusor muscle. So, unlike your skeletal muscle, hindi mo siya controlled directly, ang detrusor. Pero controlled siya by the autonomic and reflex mechanism. No? Your autonomic nervous system and reflex controlled are controlling the detrusor muscle. So it is mainly associated with S2 and S4 spinal segments, S2 to S4 spinal segments, which is very important for the micturition reflex. Na later on, i-discuss natin, micturition reflex. Okay? S2 to S4. Yan po yung nerve supply ng inyong urinary bladder. Actually, yung inyong micturition reflex is the urge to urinate. No, urge to urinate. Other books, sabi 120 to 320 ml yung urge to urinate. Other books actually, sinasabi 200 to 300 ml. No, 200 to 300 ml. So, for the parts of the urinary bladder, actually, we have, structurally, the bladder has several parts. We have the apex, which is the anterior part where the urachus is attached, and it is near the pubic symphysis. The body, this is the main hollow chamber kung saan yung urine sa store. Yung fundus naman is the posterior part of the bladder. We have also the neck wherein it surrounds the internal urethral opening, no, the neck of the bladder. Then, very important structure, we have your trigon. No? Ito, yung nasa picture. We have here your, yan, trigon. Yung parang triangle. Kaya ang tinawag na trigon. So, yung trigon is a triangular area forming by the two ureteric openings. Kasi meron kang two ureteric openings dyan. Ito, isa, dalawa. Opening yan. No? Two ureteric openings, upper left and upper right. And one dito, may opening din dyan. Yan na po yung internal urethral meatus. So, meron kang dalawang ureteric opening here. Meron kang isang internal urethral meatus, inferior opening here. No? Composing the trigon or the triangular area. So, clinically important yan because no, smooth area yan and common site for infections. Okay? Malinaw tayo dito. Hello? Okay. So, for the distension of the bladder, now, kapag empty ang bladder, usually, ang bladder, nasa pelvic cavity lang siya. Okay? Located below the peritoneum and behind the pubic symphysis when empty. Pero kapag filled ang bladder, syempre tumataas yan, umakyat na po yan papuntang abdominal cavity. So kapag po empty ang bladder, nasa pelvic cavity lang siya. Kapag po filled ang bladder, umakyat papuntang abdominal cavity. So literally, nag-expand siya upward as it fills. No? Yan yung reason sometimes because why pregnant women or pregnant-like sensation. No, sometimes yung pregnant-like sensation din feel kapag sobrang full na yung bladder. No, para kang buntis daw pag full ang bladder kasi umakyat po siya saan? Sa abdominal cavity. So in other words, when the bladder is empty, it sits in the pelvic region only, but when it is full, no, it rises, it pushes against the abdominal space. No, ang inyong bladder umakyat doon. So for the muscles of the bladder, sabi natin kanina, we have the detrusor muscle, and we also have your vesical sphincter. So for the detrusor muscle, ito yung main smooth muscle of the bladder. So meaning hindi siya controlled, no? Voluntary. So kapag nag-contract ang detrusor muscle, tumataas ang pressure sa bladder, the urine get expelled. So kapag nagko-contract ang detrusor, nagkakaroon ng paglabas ng urine. Pag naka-relax po ang detrusor muscle, nag-expand ang bladder, ang urine nasa-store lang. Ibig sabihin na iipon, hindi na ilalabas. Malinaw tayo doon sa contraction relaxation. Pag contract, ano nangyari sa urine? Stored or nailabas? Or expelled? Lalabas, meaning na-expel. On the other hand, kapag naka-relax ang detrusor muscle, the urine can be stored. Hindi lalabas, iipunin niya, so store lang niya. Okay? For the vesical sphincters naman, this control the outflow of the urine. No? Yung mga sphincters, syempre may sphincter ka dyan. Kapag ang sphincter nag-contract, kabaliktaran ng detrusor muscle. Okay? Pag ang sphincter nag-contract, sphincter contracts, the urine is retained. So store. On the other hand, sphincter relaxes or relax, urine marirelease. Okay? Kabaliktaran ng detrusor. Pag detrusor nag-contract, lalabas. Detrusor nag-relax, mariretain yung urine, store ang urine. Sa sphincter kabaliktaran, sphincter contracts, urine mariretain, masustore. Sphincter nag-relax, urine marirelease. So basically, coordination between the detrusor and the sphincters is what allows proper urination to happen. Okay? Malinaw tayo dito. Okay. So for the nerve supply, very important for the control, we have the sympathetic. No? Sympathetic, we have T10 to L2 via daw po hypogastric nerves, and the function is to store storage mode. No? So it relaxes the detrusor muscle. Kapag nag-relax ang detrusor muscle, ang mangyayari, ma-retain, masustore ang urine. And nagko-contract naman yung bladder, neck, and urethra here. Ibig sabihin, nahuhold ang urine mode kapag sympathetic. Siyempre, kapag sympathetic, di ba, hindi ka naman naihi. Sympathetic response. Kabaliktaran, kapag parasympathetic, pelvic nerves, ang function ito, voiding mode, nilalabas. So dito, nagko-contract na yung detrusor muscle. So ngayon, nire-release na po yung urine. Okay? Nire-release po yung urine. Malinaw tayo. So kapag sympathetic, the bladder contracts or relaxes. Sympathetic, bladder contracts or relaxes. May nagsagot ba? Wala. Kapag sympathetic, nagko-contract ang bladder or nagre-relax. Very good. The bladder relaxes while the sphincter contracts. Kasi, nire-retain mo nga, i-store mo ang urine. On the other hand, kapag parasympathetic, kapag sinabi natin bladder relaxes, ibig sabihin detrusor muscle yun ha. Kasi sino bang nagpapakontract, nagpaparelax ng bladder? Detrusor muscle. So meaning, pag sympathetic, the bladder relaxes, the detrusor muscle relaxes also. So parasympathetic, no? The bladder ano? Contract relax, parasympa. Contracts. And the sphincter, parasympa, relaxes. So parasympathetic, bladder contracts, sphincter relaxes. Kasi parasympathetic, ilalabas mo na. No? Voiding na. I-release mo na yung urine. Malinaw tayo? Malinaw po tayo. Okay. So for micturition or voiding, o, di ba, the process of bladder emptying. So, ang nangyayari, once the bladder reaches around 200 ml, o di ba, na-stretch na po yung walls ng bladder. So ngayon, na-activate na po yung stretch receptors dun sa bladder, then you feel the urge to urinate. Di ba sabi natin, the urge of urination is between 200 to 300 ml. So at this point, may combination ka na ng reflex control na automatic saka voluntary control via the external urethral sphincter. Kasi external urethral sphincter is voluntary controlled. No? So may reflex ka na automatic, meron kang voluntary control. So kahit may urge ka na, you can still hold it for a while because of voluntary control. No? Kasi sinasara mo pa siya. Para hindi siya mag-urinate voluntarily during the 200 to 300 ml. But once coordinated properly, yung detrusor muscle nagko-contract na, the sphincter relaxes, meaning the urination will happen. No? Para sympathetic. The detrusor contracts, the sphincter relax. Urination will happen. So overall, your bladder is not just a storage sac. No? Highly coordinated organ siya, controlled by muscles, nerves, reflexes, working together. Okay? So, next, we have the urethra. Let's move on to the urethra, which is basically the final pathway of urinary system. So in both sexes, the main function of urethra is simple. To carry urine from the bladder to the outside of the body. Diba? Yun ang urethra. Kasi siya yung end, terminal part of the urinary system. Pero in males, actually, may additional function siya. No? The urethra in males, may additional function. It also serves a passageway for semen during ejaculation. Okay? So, sabi natin, the urethra is a passageway or it carries urine from the bladder towards the outside of the body. For males, no, may additional po siya na function. So, sabi, passageway for semen during ejaculation. Okay? So, technically, dual function siya sa males, but in females, urine only. Malinaw tayo dun sa function ng inyong urethra. Hello? Okay. So, the urethra is a terminal portion of the urinary system, as like what I have mentioned earlier. Lengthwise daw po, in males, it is about 20 centimeters. And for females, it is about, or only about 3 to 4 cm. So, mas maikli sa babae, mas mahaba sa lalaki. Obvious naman, di ba? Pero pag tinanong kayo, when we correlate this to urinary tract infection, UTI, sino kaya ang more prone to UTI? Babae o lalaki? Tingin nyo, babae o lalaki? Mas prone sa UTI? Bakit babae? Bakit babae? UTI infection ha? May infection. Bakit babae? If we correlate it to the length of the urethra, sino bang mas maikli? Kasi maiksi yung urethra ng babae. Mas prone sila in having UTI. Since mas short ang pathway, meaning yung bacteria can reach the bladder more easily. Kasi maikli eh. No? The bacteria can reach the bladder more easily, causing now UTI kapag babae ka. Unlike kapag lalaki, 20 centimeters or 8 inches pa yung lalakbay ng bacteria bago pa siya pumunta dun sa bladder. Malinaw tayo? Malinaw po tayo? Okay. So, we have two important sphincters here, no, sa inyong urethra. We have the internal urethral sphincter, and of course, we have the external urethral sphincter. So, kapag pinag-usapan natin si internal urethral sphincter, tandaan ninyo, internal is involuntary, hindi mo siya makokontrol consciously. kasi it is controlled by autonomic nervous system. On the other hand, your external urethral sphincter, this is voluntary. Ito yung kaya mong i-control o kaya mong pigilan yung pag-ihi mo pag may urge ka na. Kasi you have external urethral sphincter na voluntary controlled, voluntarily. So basically, kapag internal urethral sphincter, automatic control. Pag external urethral sphincter, voluntarily or conscious control. Malinaw tayo doon sa difference ng dalawang sphincter sa urethra. Sino yung voluntary ulit? Internal, external. Hala. Sino yung voluntary? External. Ang automatic, internal. Okay? Voluntarily control, conscious control, external. But autonomic nervous system control the internal urethral sphincter. So, when it comes to male urethra, sabi nga natin, no, it is about 20 centimeters long. So, important dyan, it is a passageway for both the urine and the sperm passing through it. Pero not at the same time, syempre. Okay, not at the same time. Controlled pa rin yan ng sphincters and reflex mechanisms. Okay? So it has three main parts actually, your male urethra. So number one, we have your prostatic urethra. This is the widest and most dilatable part. So located yan inside the prostate gland. So ito ang prostate gland ninyo. So ang prostate gland, ito. So yung urethra na nadaan dyan is the prostatic urethra. So dito dumadaan yung urine and the seminal fluid pathway begins to merge here, no, prostatic urethra. Okay? Next one, we have the membranous urethra. So the membranous urethra is here. Okay? So the membranous urethra is the shortest and least dilatable part. Sabi natin kanina, ang most dilatable saka widest prostatic urethra. But the least and shortest dilatable part is the membranous urethra. So dito, it passes through the urogenital diaphragm. No, it is surrounded by the external urethral sphincter. So clinically important yan kasi most rigid and narrow segment po yan. Wherein, it is a common site of injury and obstruction, no, sa urethra, membranous urethra. And lastly, we have your penile or spongy urethra. No? Itong nandito. Ito na yung penis. So, yung urethra nandyan, that's your penile urethra or the spongy urethra. So, this is the longest portion naman. No? So, it travels through the corpus spongiosum of the penis and it ends to the external urethral meatus. And at the end, no, of the external urethral meatus, meron po dyan expansion na space, no, slightly forming the fossa navicularis. No, the fossa navicularis dun sa baba, no? Meron dong space, 'di ba? Ito yung urethral, external urethral meatus. May space diyan na expansion near at the end, no, inside the glans penis, that's your fossa navicularis. So basically, ang prostatic urethra wide, ang membranous narrow, pero ang penile or the spongy is the long pathway hanggang exit point na siya. Okay? So ang final opening is the external urethral meatus. External urethral meatus. Yun yung exit point ng urine and the semen in the males. External urethral meatus. Meatus is opening. Okay? So the female urethra, so it is only about 3 to 4 cm long. So it is much shorter compared to the males. And urethral opening is located in the vestibule, specifically in front of the vagina opening. So yung tawag dun sa opening dun sa vagina in front is the vestibule. So na makikita po yung inyong female urethra. So clinically, because of this short length, mas madaling maakyat ng bacteria, o kaya nga mas common po yung urinary tract infection sa females. Okay? Malinaw tayo sa urethra. Okay. So let's proceed to the urine formation. Paano ba nagkakaroon ng formation of the urine? So one of the most important topics in renal physiology, actually, sa physio talaga ito din i-discuss, is urine formation. So basically, yung urine po is formed, or the formation of urine happens inside the nephron, which is the functional unit of the kidney, di ba? So everything we discussed earlier, lahat yon converges here, doon sa urine formation. So there are three main processes of urine formation, but we'll start with the first two. Number one is the glomerular filtration. So ang glomerular filtration happens in the renal corpuscles. Sino ulit yung renal corpuscles kanina? Sino yung dalawa? Renal corpuscle. Bowman's capsule and the glomerulus. Very good. So, sa glomerular filtration, which happens sa renal corpuscle, dito po yung key structure ng filtration membrane. Okay? So, how does it work? Dito po, inaalaw niya yung water and small solutes to pass through. No? But it does not allow yung blood cells, yung platelets, yung proteins to pass. Kaya pala, hindi normal na may dugo sa ihi. Kasi hindi naman po nagpa-pass through ang blood cells dyan. So kapag po, for example, sa urinalysis, no, nag-urinalysis kayo, nakakita ka ng blood cells, ng platelets, ng proteins doon sa wiwi mo, sa urine. Ibig sabihin, may problem ka sa glomerular filtration. Baka may problem ka doon sa renal corpuscle kasi hindi po effective yung ginagawa niyong filtration. Kasi nakapag-pass through yung mga substances na hindi dapat. Na-follow niyo yun? Na-follow po ba? Okay. So basically, parang selective filter yung glomerulus niyo, yung renal corpuscle. Pinapadaan lang yung maliliit, tapos hinaharang yung malalaki. Okay? So in terms of pressure, we have your net filtration pressure, which is around 10 mmHg or millimeters of mercury. And the normal glomerular filtration rate is sa males 125 ml per minute and sa females 105 ml per minute. So ibig sabihin every minute that amount of plasma is being filtered in the kidneys. No? Every minute that amount of plasma is being filtered in the kidneys. 125 ml per minute or 105 ml per minute. Pero the average, pakitandaan, the average is 125 ml per minute. No, for the glomerular filtration rate. Ayan ang average. Pero pag tinanong male and female, alam mo. But the net filtration pressure is 10 mmHg. Okay, net filtration pressure 10 mmHg. May question ba dito? Para magpunta tayo sa tubular reabsorption. Wala. Okay? So for the tubular reabsorption, yung mga tubo, no? So di ba nag-start tayo sa proximal convoluted tubule. So for tubular reabsorption, useful substances daw po kasi are brought back to the blood. So meaning nire-reabsorb. So this happens along different parts of the nephron. So the first part is your proximal convoluted tubule or the PCT. This is very important na tawag siyang workhorse of the nephron. Bakit? Kasi 65% of water is being reabsorbed here. Kaya tinatawag na workhorse. Also, no, the glucose, electrolytes, and other important substances are reabsorbed in this structure or tubo. So depending on the fluid, no, 'di ba sabi natin kapag po more water is reabsorbed, ano siya? Concentrated, diluted. More water is being reabsorbed. Diluted? More water is being reabsorbed. Nare-reabsorb water? Concentrated. Kasi mas maraming solute yung naiwan dun sa wiwi mo, sa urine. concentrated siya kasi mas madaming water ang na-reabsorb na ibalik sa katawan. Diba? Kapag diluted, meaning less water is reabsorbed. Meaning mas maraming tubig doon sa wiwi mo, sa urine. Naka-follow kung kailan siya magiging concentrated, kailan siya magiging diluted. Ulit, pag concentrated, maraming water ang na-reabsorb, meaning maraming solutes dun sa ihi. Diluted, mas konting water ang na-reabsorb, meaning mas maraming tubig sa urine. Na-follow? Okay. So ang PCT actually does the majority of the reabsorption. Kasi nga 65% yung water na reabsorb. Tapos nagre-reabsorb pa siya ng mga solutes. So dito, kung makikita mo, 65% of reabsorption of water. Ang dami. Ang daming water ang na-reabsorb. Kung madaming water ang na-reabsorb, ano siya? Concentrated, diluted. Ang urine dito. Mas maraming water ang na-reabsorb sa PCT. Ano makikita mo diyang urine? Concentrated, diluted. Normally, concentrated. Kasi mas maraming water ang na-reabsorb. Okay? And then next, we have the thin descending loop of Henle and the thin ascending loop of Henle. So sa thin descending loop of Henle, no, main function niya is to reabsorb water alone or only. So meaning 10% lang ng water ang nare-reabsorb niya, pero water lang nare-reabsorb niya. So water leaves, so the fluid inside becomes more diluted, concentrated. Kung na-reabsorb water, ano siya? Concentrated, diluted? Yung urine dyan, concentrated. Kasi nga na-reabsorb ang water. 10%. So the tubular fluid becomes more concentrated. So for the thin ascending loop of Henle naman, dito, walang water reabsorption. Walang water reabsorption. Instead, solutes ang nare-reabsorb. Anong mga solutes ang nare-reabsorb? Sodium, potassium, chloride. Yun ang nare-reabsorb dito sa thin ascending loop of Henle. O kung walang water ang nare-reabsorb, solutes lang ang nare-reabsorb. So meaning maraming tubig ang mailalabas mo. Ano mangyayari sa ihi mo? Urine. Diluted, concentrated? Diluted. Diba? Diluted siya. O tandahan na kapag descending, water out, kasi nare-absorb ang water. Pag thin ascending, solutes ang nare-reabsorb. Okay? And then we have your thick ascending loop of Henle. So kapag thick ascending loop of Henle, yan po yung part na nagko-continue na ng solute reabsorption. So meaning, solutes na nare-reabsorb dito. Sodium, potassium, chloride. No, actively nare-reabsorbs ang sodium, potassium, chloride. Still, no water reabsorption. So again, the fluid becomes more concentrated, diluted. Kung ang nare-reabsorb ay solutes, diluted. Okay? Diluted kapag thick ascending loop of Henle. Kasi solutes ang nare-reabsorb. Napa-follow ba yung iba? Na-follow nung iba? Okay. So for the distal convoluted tubule and the collecting tubules or collecting ducts, ito yung final no na system, collecting system. So there is more fine-tuning of the solutes, tapos nagkakaroon ng continued reabsorption depending on the body needs. So dito, kung meron kang reabsorption of solutes, ano mangyayari dun sa ihi? Concentrated, diluted? Concentrated, diluted? Diluted. Okay? So after this, no, kasi 'di ba itong nephron makikita naman to sa cortex sa medulla. So ngayon, yung tubular fluid flows to the connecting tubules, pupunta na ngayon kay minor calyx, sa major calyx and the ureter. So basically, no, nephron, o yun yung makikita mo ha. sabi natin, di ba, diluted naturally ang inyong wiwi, ang urine. Kasi nga, reabsorption of solutes na dun sa dulong part ng inyong nephron. So, diluted talaga ang ihi normally. So, basically, sabi natin, from the nephron, going to the collecting system, and it exits to the urine, no? Pupunta na tayo ng minor calyx, punta ka ng major calyx, punta kang renal pelvis, punta kang ureter. So ureter, sa punta? Punta kang urinary bladder, punta kang urethra, exit na ng urine. Malinaw tayo? So meaning step by step process ang ang urine formation. Where yung kidney decides what to keep and what to eliminate depending on the needs of the body. O kung dehydrated, syempre, mas madaming water ang marireabsorb. Eh kung mataas ang BP, increase ang blood volume, gusto mo mailabas yung tubig sa katawan para dumikrease or mag-decrease yung BP ng pasyente. Malinaw tayo? Sure? Walang question, clarification? Sigurado kayo, ha? So, this is the last lecture for this semester. So, sana may natutunan kayo kay Sir Vince during this sem.